Welcome to Trade Pro. This is the introduction and release video / tutorial video for the new MACD trading strategy script. This is based on the classic MACD strategy where all it uses is an EMA with the MACD. So if we zoom in, you can see the basic strategy being used here. Whenever there is a cross up on the MACD, that happens below the zero line of the histogram, that is a long as price is above the EMA. And if we look to a short, we can see whenever there is a cross down on the MACD that happens above the zero line, we get a short position as long as it occurs below the EMA. Now with this script, there are a bunch of different customizable features that I'm going to go through because you can really change the settings and customize it to exactly what you want. These results, I will show you the settings for these, but based on what I've been seeing, a lot of the different settings will produce profitable backtest results from the script. So it's not super hard to get something that shows profit over the back-tested sample size of trades. So I'm going to go through all the different features, show you guys how it works, so let's get into it. This is the third trading script to be released on the Trade Pro Patreon / Discord page. So you do need to be a Chart God Patreon member in order to access the 3 different scripts. We will be coming out with scripts every single month. So eventually there's going to be a ton of different scripts that you will have access to. The price will never change. It's a monthly $20 charge to get access to the scripts. And essentially they are great for people who want to have the luxury of getting the alerts when certain conditions are met in the market. So it's absolutely not necessary to pay any money and get the scripts if you want to be profitable. You can easily be profitable without the scripts, doing things fully manually. This is only a luxury. So don't feel pressured to spend money to get access to the scripts. They're just a luxury item. So let's get into all the different features and kind of talk about different settings and also the special method that I have been thinking about where you can get an extremely high win rate utilizing this kind of weird, unconventional method of trading. So let's check out the settings. If we double click on this, up at the top, we will first see the MACD settings. So we have the fast length, slow length, signal length. We can change those. I'm just keeping it at default at the moment. And then one of the interesting things here is what you can change about the way that it takes entries. So for the first setting, you can have it with the traditional way where it's only taking a long when there's a cross up from below the zero line and only a short when there's a cross down from above the zero line. But then you can also tell it to only take longs when it crosses up while above the zero line and only take shorts when it crosses down while below the zero line. So kind of a different unconventional way of doing it. So we have both the traditional way doing the classic MACD strategy as introduced on the Trading Rush YouTube channel and the way that was recommended on the No Nonsense Forex YouTube channel. That way we can customize this script to do whatever we want. Next is the EMA settings. So you can either change the EMA length or you can turn it off or on. So if you change it to whatever EMA length you want, no matter what, the script is only going to take short below the EMA and it's only going to take long positions above the EMA. I actually found that having a 200 period EMA is not ideal with this strategy, so that's why I have it set to 95. I found the best results in the 85 to 130 EMA range. So that's why it is not at the 200 EMA like it is in the Trading Rush videos. Another thing is you can enable the CMF, which is the Chaikin Money Flow, as an additional filter. This is to be used in combination with the alternative method for taking positions with the MACD. You can also try enabling it with the traditional way using the Trading Rush method, but I don't think that it works as well when you use it with this way. So we'll just see what the results change to when I do enable it. But I think that they get quite a bit worse when I enable the check and money flow filter. So they got a little bit worse, and there weren't as many entries taken. So we're just going to get rid of the check and money flow, but you can use the check and money flow by itself, or you can use the EMA by itself, or you can use both of them or neither of them, just depending on what you are looking for with the strategy. So on to the next thing. We have a few simple things, like if you want it to only take longs, only take shorts, or take both. You can restrict to a certain date range to test it on. You can restrict to certain times of the day that you want to test it on. You can have it skip entries if the commissions are greater than the estimated profit. And you can also have an additional filter with the RSI. So let's get into the RSI filter a bit here. So if we enable the RSI filter, there's a couple things that you can have it do. I'm going to turn it on and explain the different things. So the first one, as default, you can have it only take a long when RSI is in the oversold territory, and you can have it only take a short when the RSI is in the overbought territory. Or you can have it only short when the RSI is in the oversold territory and only long when the RSI is in the overbought territory. So as you can see, there's no data because there are no trade entries that meet criteria if I have it set like this. So let's change it to where it's only going to take a short when the RSI is in the oversold territory and only take a long when the RSI is in the overbought territory. And then we can change these and kind of say, okay, if the RSI is over the 55 level, we only want to take longs, and if the RSI is below the 45 level, we only want to be taking short positions. So just wait a sec and let it update what the results are. As you can see, it doesn't help all that much with this strategy, but it can be used in combination with other things, especially with the other method of the MACD cross entries. So I'm just going to get rid of it for now. It did help a little bit, but not by enough to call it significant. Next, we have the position exit settings, which include the stop loss strategy, take profit strategy, risk reward ratio. Now, there are a few different ways you can do this. First is an ATR based stop loss, and then a percentage based stop loss. And then for the take profit target, you can have it be percent based, ATR based, or just a risk multiplier. So if you decide to choose an ATR based stop loss and you want your stop loss to be 2.5 times the ATR, just choose 1.2, and it's going to be a 1 to 1.2 risk to reward ratio. Now let's say I want it to be a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. We just change it to 1.5, and let's see how the results change here. The results actually got better when I changed to a 1 to 1.5 risk reward ratio. So you can play around with the risk to reward ratio and the type of stop loss placement and take profit target placement. Let's just quickly try a random number like 1 to 1.9 and see if it gets better or worse. So the results did get better with the profit factor increasing as I gave the risk reward ratio better favor. So if we change it and go all the way up to 2.5 risk to reward ratio, we'll see if that keeps increasing and giving us better results, or if now it starts getting worse. So now it dropped down to 1.27 profit factor. So we can kind of get the idea that maybe the best risk to reward ratio is between 1.5 and 2.5, somewhere in that range. So you can try out all the different things in between, but I'm just gonna put it at 1.5 for now, as that is the classic way that Trading Rush did it, with a 1 to 1.5 risk to reward ratio. The next thing down is a option to close the position early if the price crosses over an EMA or MA of your choice. So you can either choose simple moving average or an exponential moving average. And let's just say that once you get an entry, the price then crosses back over, let's just say, the 13-period exponential moving average. And we'll turn that on and see what actually happens with the results. So as you can see, the results are actually much worse now. So we don't want to be closing out our positions just because the price has crossed back over the 13-period exponential moving average. But of course, you can try out a bunch of different moving averages or exponential moving averages to see what type of results you can get with different things. The next significant thing is activating the custom order size settings, where you can tell it to risk a certain percentage of your equity per trade. So let's just say you want to have it risk 2% of your equity per trade. You would just activate custom order size settings, change this order size to 2% risk of equity. You can also do contracts cash percentage of equity as well, but I typically do a percent risk of equity. So if we change this to only risk 1% of equity per trade, then you're going to see the max drawdown and the net profit change, but the other results should stay relatively the same. So that is, as you can see, just changing the drawdown as well as the net profit. And this will assume using leverage. You can also limit the position value to the account size so that it doesn't use leverage, or you can skip the entry if you can't afford the desired position size. So if you would be required to use leverage in order to have the proper position size, then it would just skip trades where you would need leverage. So I would just assume use of leverage, as I do use leverage when trading Forex and low time frames on crypto. So let's check out the next thing here. We have the alerts, and this will just be whenever you get an alert for an entry or for stop loss or take profit target. So it's pretty simple. You just need to turn on all of these alerts, and you can also use this section to set up automated trading through a website like 3 Commas. But you can also just do alerts within TradingView, where you turn these on and then create an alert over here. We have a tutorial on how to do that, so I'm not going to get into more detail on that, but it's just nice to have the alerts to tell you when entry conditions are present. Now we just have some appearance things, and we have the trading widget itself, which is what you see here on the screen, where it's just going to tell you the different things that you have set for the different settings. It's going to tell you for long entry what conditions are being met at that current time, or for a short entry what conditions are currently being met at that time. So you can see either price is under the EMA, it will be a green dot, which right now price is under the EMA, so it's a green dot. If the MACD crosses down from above the 0 line, that is the condition we have set for a short. So right now that's not happening. And then the Chaikin money flow is below the 0 line. Right now that's disabled because I don't have the Chaikin money flow filter turned on. So it's just sitting at green right now. But you also have things like the back testing statistics, where it's going to tell you the most wins in a row, most losses in a row over the sample size of tested trades, and just how many longs were open, how many shorts were open, number of closed total trades, and different things like the drawdown, the gross profit, gross loss, the account equity, net profit, winners, losses, percent profitable, just the different factors from the back test. So that is pretty much it for this script. There's not a whole lot more to go over here.